Hello everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker and guy who has a roommate 3 feet on the other side of this wall from me who's sniffing his nose in a way that sounds like it's a high pressure valve that's like blasting out steam. Oh, now he's gagging, but he's he claims it's a health thing. Yeah, I don't know about that. Still pending further review. Anyways, uh, trying to keep up with videos. The nights go by so quickly. Um, so I've been just very busy with work. I work in a film archive. It's going very well. Something happened to me. I don't know. I just got like, I think I'm just dissociating a bit, or not even dissociating. I'm going through derealization where just things don't quite feel real or my head is spinning. I don't know what it is. Just to run you through what I've been doing lately. So, working on my screenplay a lot, and it's amazing. It helps tremendously when I work on my screenplay with total dedication and I'm not distracted. My phone is away and the internet's off. It helps me so much. Exercise helps me a lot too. But I've had this sort of compartmentalized, like, okay, exercise in the morning, write in the evening, because I just need more time to write. Like, I really would like at least 2 hours a day to write, and I've never really kept up with that on weekdays. Like today, I probably did like an hour, hour and a half or so. And I'm like, I'm just trying to go to sleep early, even though the sun's still out, and I'm sweating. It is so freaking hot, and there's no ventilation in my room. Well, there's no vents from the AC. There's a window. I gotta open that window more because at night it's amazing. In LA, you have to, at least I have to have the window open at night to sleep or I'll be too hot. And lately, just I can't even use my comforter. It's way too hot for that. So work's going well enough. Going really well. It's just weird how I always lose my perspective and think, oh, am I doing my job well? Or it's not that I can even question now. I don't know. I still feel so out of place in a way in a company that's very professional, and it's I've got like an important position there, which I'm very, very happy about, and I'm paid well. And oh, by the way, a year ago, I was homeless. So I'm coming up on the year anniversary of me being housed. I forget the exact day. It was the end of March, March 28th, 29th, something like that. And today's the 24th. But it's been a year that I've had a home now. I lived in my car for 2.5 years before that, and it involved a lot of ups and downs. And the worst thing for me is getting too self-absorbed and wallowing in my own pity and thinking about all these losses I had, and I got to spinning out about something else, this really disturbing situation when I was younger, and had a couple of those disturbing situations. I mean, had to leave my home. Grant you, I was in my 20s, so it's like, yeah, that's not a big deal. You leave your home when you're a teenager, or you know, even younger than that, for extreme danger or something. That's really disturbing. Me, it was like, it was not disturbing. It was just whatever. The disturbing part was I was living at home in my 20s, but I just got so screwed up when I was younger, and I keep going through these same issues of, oh, I became disabled so young. I was going through depersonalization, derealization. That messed me up. That spinned me out in like 10 different ways. And anyway, so things are going well now, and I'm really trying to keep my head on straight, get up early, stay disciplined, write. Writing is the big thing that just helps me so much. And it's great in that it's like, it doesn't make me dissociate. It doesn't make me like, whereas it used to be that if I felt good about something, I would dissociate and then I would feel numb, and it was absolutely horrible. And I'm like, well, I can't ever feel good about anything ever in my life because I'll just dissociate. Now I'm at a point where it's like I can feel my pain, I feel that tension in me, and yet I can feel empowered and fulfilled in a way. I always feel queasy about that word fulfilled, because I'm like, I'm always not spinning out, but just always feel this angst and have this stuff I'm managing in me. But it was interesting today because I had this performance review at my job. We haven't had these before, so I've been there a year. I haven't had them. And, I'm like, well, there should be no surprises here. And at the same time, I'm still like, oh crap, what am I going to hear? Because I don't know why they're doing them now. And it all went perfectly, well, you don't know, I haven't told you, but it wasn't a big thing. But I always wonder, like, why does a company want that? Is it to cover themselves in case they're getting ready to fire someone, or is it to try and push them to perform a different way, or have a documented reason saying, look, we got this problem with you and now we've documented it? But went well. My boss said great things, but I feel so weird hearing that stuff. Especially, maybe that tripped me out. I don't know. And well, hey, as far as problems go, this is the smallest problem in the world. But it just made me realize, it tripped me out to hear all these positive comments, and literally my boss just praising me. Because I did come in like at a strange time in the company. I was like the first hire. Apparently, this is what I heard. I was the first person hired after the pandemic started, at my building at least, not the whole company, but at the building I work at. And we were very sort of understaffed, but also the work had slowed down because a lot of movie production and movie studios were slowing down with the pandemic. And basically, shortly into my job, I ended up being thrown into a position where I had to take over one department that I had barely just started training in. And it was, aside from just all the tasks and people talking outside my apartment, aside from all the just time consuming tasks I had to do, tasks themselves were fine. It's just time consuming. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting this email, this phone call, this request, this person coming here to pick up something, to drop off something, whatever. There was a lot of stuff that was just labyrinth in terms of the training that I had just barely started to learn. And literally, I think if I had been put into that role like 20 minutes earlier, I would not have known how to do it. So I was so glad that like by the time I was put into that position, it's like, okay, I just barely know how to keep myself going. But anyways, so my boss was happy with how I've been performing, but I just feel so weird. I'm like, wow, what's that mean? Is it all just downhill from here if I'm doing well? Because there's a part of me that's like, what the hell? I'm just some guy they got off the street. I was literally homeless. I wasn't living on the street. I never slept on pavement. I always slept in a car. So, but given that, it's like still I was, this guy on the street. And but just you have to get over that. It's like, okay, big deal. Like, I'm good there. I'm a good fit, apparently. And I've learned a lot about patience, about dealing with people and stuff. And whereas before I'd just be like, screw this, I'm leaving, and I'll go homeless, or I'll just go sleep on someone's couch if I had that option, or just leave the state. I just left to California. Granted, I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I had good reasons to leave Virginia too. There were really no opportunities there for me, or little in the way of opportunities, and it was time. But I realized, and with my screenplay, it's not that I'm struggling with it, but it's like a roller coaster. Neighbor's starting up the motorcycle. It's actually not being that bad. It sounds loud, but he's like, I understand, you gotta idle it, you gotta warm it up. It's this guy on the other side of this wall who's like, I can't do it with my nose, like, he's literally like clearing his nose. He claims he has a deviated septum. I don't know, but it seems to come intermittently, but it's a problem. I'm not trying to make fun of him for a health issue, but it is insane, the amount of nose blowing. I do have one nostril. I think this one, it's always like semi-blocked or kind of blocked. Maybe do I have a nose thing? How's my nose look? I don't know. I swear it's like an air hose with it. Like you press down on the trigger on an air hose. I just heard it like. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to make fun of him. He's a nice guy. But my script, it's like a roller coaster. It's like no matter how many good days I have writing, it's always like this scary struggle, like going up the next hill on the roller coaster and wondering like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen over this hill? Am I going to crash? Am I going to die? And then like you go down the hill and it's scary, but you're just launched. And it's like, oh no, actually, I was propelled along safely the whole way. But no matter how many times I do that, no matter how many times I write, I think maybe he just has a CO2 canister and he's just squeezing it sometimes, and he tells me he's clearing his nose. No matter how many times I do that, it's still kind of scary each time and painful in a way, but it's not a miserable pain. It's like a meaningful pain, because I am writing, I'm doing what I love, I'm doing what's so helpful to me, so important to me, and what it just makes everything else bearable in a way, because it's like, if I couldn't do that, like the stress of everything else, it's not that it would be too much, but it would just be so much more grim for me if I was just dealing with day-to-day life and didn't have this thing that's so important to me. And then if my mind starts drifting into misery like it did today, which is really selfish in a way to do that. And it's not that I blame myself like, oh, I'm a bad person for it, but it is selfish in a way. It's like, oh, thinking about yourself, your problems, pitying yourself. Just think about all this angst and grief I have from, 20 some years of, wait, how long has it been? Yeah, almost 20 years now. Almost exact, yeah. 19 years of depersonalization, derealization disorder, of tons of depression and sadness, and just feeling lost, feeling just so low and lost, having to change all my beliefs, my entire belief system, when I just this illusion of the Catholic Church just kind of crumbled and fell apart on me when I was younger, and just thinking, okay, what do I do now with my life? Like, what do I do? Growing up in that moral vacuum of there being no right and wrong, it's all an illusion. You realize just how much of it is psychology and images, and it's a show, it's storytelling, it's it really is a facade. Like, oh, they make these paintings and the stained glass and the whatever you call them, the nice carved wood and everything, and it's all just a freaking, like, it's all just to make you think like this is really important, when it's like, it's just a freaking building. All right, I don't know if you all can hear that on camera, the nose clearing from my roommate. But anyways, I'm kind of just trying to be consistent, because when I am consistently, disciplined about eating well, which I have been, I am losing weight. Riding my bike helps. Getting up early, like pushing myself, writing more, which I should be doing more of. It upsets me every day if I don't write quite enough, because I always enjoy writing, yet I'm always scared of writing. No matter what. I don't think it mattered if I did it 100,000 days. How many years do people live? 100,000 days? I don't know how many years that is. Probably not. Probably definitely not, I think. 3,000 days, that's like roughly 10 years. So 100 years, that's like 30,000, 300,000? Fuck, I don't know, I can't think. But anyways, just got to be brave about it. That's the thing. Okay, it's going to be scary, so be brave and push forward. But I swear, writing is the thing that makes it easier to go to, just bear through, or what's the term I'm thinking of? Easier to tolerate or to deal with things that would normally be very painful, like thinking, oh, I wish I could go out now, I wish I could do more, I wish I could meet more people, I wish I was, socializing more, I wish I was, working on the movie, like making the movies I want to make, and directing music videos and doing all kinds of stuff, and doing something I think, not that I think what I'm doing now is important, but doing what I think is really important, what I just really want to do more than anything, which is write and direct movies, and you know, direct music videos and short films and maybe commercials. And it's just amazing how many new problems I discover when I solve old ones. I've literally, some days lately, I've had to stop this, gotten scared, like, because I used to watch these, not long ago, I would watch these videos about astrophysics and think, oh my goodness, we're so fragile on this planet. What if it stops spinning? What if it leaves the sun's orbit? What if a comet collides with it? What, you know, all this crazy stuff that I just started worrying about. I'm like, well, I can't take for granted the Earth's going to be here, you know? Like, we're just out floating in space. And I'm like, okay, that's absurd. Even now talking about it gives me anxiety. But somehow just my mind would go to that stuff. So it's like, okay, well, what can I do? Get up early, eat right, exercise hard, write a lot, write with integrity, and, you know, the good stuff, that success will chase me, and not try and dwell too much on, like, oh, you're such a loser, oh, you screwed this up, you blew this opportunity, you know, were alone for so long, oh, here comes a helicopter now. Helicopters, it's like terrorizing neighborhoods in LA all the time. But I know that's not the reality. It's much better than that. And in reality, the more discipline, the more like self-inflicted hardship I put on myself, the better I get at dealing with this. When I mean self-inflicted hardship, I don't mean wasted hardship. I mean stuff like exercising hard, like eating right, limiting my diet, like writing a lot, because it takes discipline to write, and yet I love it. So it's like it just gives good benefits. And then, you know, when I'm out with people, I'm just so much more at ease. I'm having fun. It's easy to talk to people. So anyways, that said, I'm going to go to sleep. It is 7:14. That's past my bedtime because I get up at 3:45 in the morning. So thanks for I was almost going to say thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for every watch one. And I'm able to work out better because my shoulder pain, finally, after like 5 months, it's mostly gone away. It's still, I got to get a new chair. This back for this chair I was showing here, it's too firm. It is awful. I need the mesh back that you can lean back on. So I'm doing this instead of hunching forward, which aggravates or can cause shoulder impingement. Anyways, I'm going to go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.